Hey guys, it's Matt with Meat Church and welcome back to my outdoor kitchen. Today I thought I'd show you guys something really easy and different, a no-wrap pork butt. So tonight we want pulled pork for supper. My wife loves pulled pork. This is an easy dinner for us. It's first thing in the morning out here in Texas. I've got a really busy day, so I'm gonna show you guys a very simple way to make pulled pork. And like I always say, there's lots of ways to skin a cat when it comes to barbecue. There's not one right way to go from this raw pork butt to pulled pork. For instance, we've got a video on our channel that was wildly popular in the last year where we smoked a pork butt, we wrapped it at somewhere in like 165, we kept it on until the end, until it was tender and pulled it. This is gonna be a little different. This is gonna be a no wrap pork butt. So we're simply gonna slather this, we're gonna season it, and we're gonna put it on the Traeger. I got a really busy day today, I got a ton of errands, and I'm actually not gonna be here in Waxahachie for most of the day, so I'm gonna insert a wireless meter probe and I can watch this thing cook throughout the day. We're gonna go really low. I'm gonna cook this thing at 200 degrees for almost the entire day so we can build maximum bark on this. Later in the day, I'll take a look at it. I might increase the temperature just to finish it, but we're never gonna wrap it, and I'm gonna show you guys that it's still gonna be super juicy. So let's jump into this. So I'm gonna slather this, and I always say slathers are optional, but when you say the term barbecue, growing up, this is what it was to me. It was pulled pork or it was ribs. So this is a Prairie Fresh 9-pound bone-in pork butt with a gorgeous money muscle, I'm just gonna say. I prefer bone-in, they're cheaper and they hold shape. Boneless kind of fall apart. I'm gonna do extremely minimal trim. On the top, I'm just gonna take off a little bit of this fat that is right above the money muscle. Fat's flavor, but it's also a bad bite when you have too much of it. I'm just gonna take a little bit of that off to expose that meat. Super sharp knife and really cold meat. Our marriage made in heaven. So let's go here to the back side. Lots of different ways you can do this. So normally there's a fat cap across the entire back side here. So here's your choices. Oftentimes I will just score that fat, but this one's missing half of it, so I'm probably gonna, on this one, I'm gonna choose to remove it all. But be careful, this is a good lesson right here. This fat right on top of this thin layer of meat that you see exposed here, this is what you call the bacon. This is the best meat on a pork butt in my opinion. In competitions, guys turn this in, but since half of it is already exposed, I'm gonna go ahead and remove most of this. You could just score that. Removing it allows you to get more bark on the meat. So it's kind of up to you. No right or wrong way to do this, but just be very careful. I'm gonna leave a little bit of the fat. I don't wanna scalp it completely down. I don't wanna cut into that bacon. So I'm just gonna remove this and then we'll slather. All right, that looks good to me. I'll take this glove off and I'm gonna get my slather on. I'm gonna slather with yellow mustard. It's just what I grew up on. You can slather in anything you want. I also like pickle juice. I like pickle juice and mustard. Worcestershire. Some people just use water. For those of you that are afraid of mustard, don't worry. You're not gonna taste this anyway. This is a way for the seasoning to adhere to the meat. All right, let's talk about seasoning. Lots of ways to do this. If you're a Meat Church fan, the Gospels, the Gospel, Holy Gospel, Honey Hog Hot, Honey Bacon, all great choices. But today we're going with my favorite, Holy Voodoo. But as I always say, season with your favorite rub, whatever you want. Maybe you make your own rub. Guess what? I make my own rub. I just package it and sell it for you. So season this very liberally. It's a huge piece of meat. You're not gonna hurt it. I recommend seasoning your pork, letting it sit for at least 15 to 30 minutes, or if you have all the time in the world, I always say, do this in the evening. If you're gonna cook it the next day, you can season this, you can let it adhere, you can put it in your fridge, you can let it rest all night, and you can cook it early the next morning so you don't have to do this first thing in the morning. But again, we're making a video. I'm just gonna let this sweat out, probably take 15, 20 minutes till it's completely wet, and then we're gonna put it on. See you guys in a few minutes. So the seasoning has completely adhered. As you can see, this pork butt is just completely wet all the way. It smells awesome. So I'm gonna grab a thermometer since I'm not gonna be home today. This Traeger Timberline XL comes with 2 integrated wireless meter thermometers, which is awesome. So I'm going to just insert one right here in the middle. And the good thing is on my app, which I have pulled up, it just populated right there and it shows the temperature. So let's go ahead and put this in. I'm cooking with Meat Church pellets. We're gonna cook at 200 degrees. I'm gonna go right here in the middle. I've got the top shelf out just so that you guys can see that. Right there. Night, night. So why am I going 200? It's not the magic number. I'm gonna be gone all day. It's just a nice low temperature with super smoke enabled, by the way. So I can go do my thing, and I know it's not gonna overcook. You could even go 225 and it's really not gonna overcook. But this is a nice low temperature that we're gonna let ride all day. I'm not gonna do anything to it other than monitor the temperature of the grill from my app and the temperature of the meat. I got a lot to do today. I'm gonna go hit my honey-do list and I'll see y'all tonight. All right, guys, I've been gone most of the day. It's been just over 10 hours at 200 degrees. I have not opened or touched this. And remember, we want it for supper. It's temping at 180 degrees, so let's see how we're doing. Oh, baby. Look at that awesome bark. That's a no-wrap pork butt right there. So I'm gonna crank this up to 275 because I wanna finish it for supper. My wife's actually telling me to hurry up. So we're gonna crank it up, finish up, and I'll see you guys shortly. We've been cooking this pork butt at 275 for just over 2 more hours. I got an alert that it reached 195 a little bit ago, internal temperature. So we're around 200 now. Let me tell you, this thing looks awesome. It's got insane bark. Oh man, that's tender. That thing is shifty as all get out. That's actually hard to hang on to. But here we go. And yes, it's really dark right here. It's also pretty mahogany. When I rip this thing open, you're gonna see what it looks like. This is epic bark. It's not burned, don't even start with that. But I can tell you from moving this thing around and lifting it up, look how tender that is. Look and feel are a big deal. So this thing's gonna be a tomahawk. I can't shred it right now. I'm gonna let it sit here and rest for a little bit. The wife is still on me to get supper ready, but let's let this rest for just a bit and then we'll pull it and see how we did. All right, guys, we've let this rest just a little bit, and honestly, not really long enough, but I don't want to wait any longer. We're making a video. But with the instant read, you can see this thing's just probing like butter. So it's good to go. And man, whoever said you can't get epic bark on a pellet grill, by the way, right there, look at that smoke. Man, look at that. As evidenced by the steam, not allowed to cool enough, but for video purposes and the purposes of Mrs. Meat Church, we're gonna be just fine. So this is the money muscle down here on the end that I've pulled. I'm gonna pull some of that out. And I mean, you can see, like, look at that smoke. Epic. So let me go in here and get a little bite of that money muscle. Ah, that's juicy. Super good, no sauce needed, to be honest with you. That is amazingly good, but you know what I like about this cook? How easy was that? I mean, by the way, you know it's springtime in Texas when you're cooking in the outdoor kitchen and the flies are rolling in, but that's the deal with cooking outside. So anyway, how easy was this? We slathered it in mustard, we hammered it with our holy voodoo, we put it on the Traeger for 10 hours. We increased the temperature just the last couple. It's a about 12-hour pork butt with no interaction. So this is great if you want to cook it overnight, if you want to be gone all day and have a great meal at night. I mean, it's amazing. It couldn't be any easier. So, you know, you could pair it with barbecue sauce if you want. You could eat it just like this. We're gonna make sandwiches with it tonight, and the family's gonna love it. But if you guys like what we're doing, please like and subscribe to the channel. This is part of our ongoing hardcore barbecue playlist that has lots of great recipes in it. So y'all check it out, and we'll see y'all next time. All right, guys, I've not let this cool nearly long enough. It's still pretty warm. And I'll tell you, with an instant read thermometer, this thing is just like butter. So let's do that again. I missed.
Totally missed.
Well.